What's up, guys? Thanks again for visiting me in my living room. As always, I'll be reviewing my top comic book picks of the week. And I have a few books this week, not as much as usual, not as many as I usually review, but I hope to give you an in-depth review on both of them. The review came late this week. I've been a little under the weather with the flu, so that's why I sound a little different. I'm a little clogged, a little dry in the throat. Speaking is a little painful. Well, not painful, but irritating. Anyways, enough about my personal jibber jabber. Let's get on to more pressing matters, shall we? Now, I haven't reviewed a Batman book in quite some time, so I'm going to review this week's Batman number 19, written by Scott Snyder, of course. Pencils by the great Greg Capullo, who is back after taking a month off, and he does a wonderful job as always. And look at that splash page as the front cover. Features Bruce Wayne pointing a gun at his best man, Jim Gordon. What is up with that, right? Well, we're gonna find out soon. By the time you get to page 2, things are only gonna get stranger. We see Bruce Wayne here holding up a bank, and I was at the point where I was like, alright, I'm flipping the pages really quickly, I'm hardly looking at the artwork, I'm just reading, desperate to know what is going on here. And the story progresses into the past. We find out what happened, the events that transpired to that crazy scene in the bank. It fast rewinds to 6 days ago, and we find out that Bruce Wayne is Batman does a lot of detective work for a change in this issue, which has been missing in this Batman book. He finally gets to do his usual detective work, and we find out he's hot on the heels of this murder suspect, Philip Wade, who was wanted for the murder of three victims who happen to be henchmen for the Penguin. So Batman's like, alright, why would somebody want to kill 3 common thugs and leave them, rotting in some alley? We find out that the fingerprints on the murder scene they're mismatched. They belong to 3 different killers, 3 different people, but witnesses said there was only one murderer on at the scene. Batman continues to, dig into his computer. He starts to dig into the files of this so-called Philip Wade, who is a heavy-set black man. He finds out that he faked his death, and little do we know, Philip Wade isn't actually Philip Wade, but is actually Clayface, who, as all Batman fans know, is a shapeshifter. For those who don't know what a shapeshifter is someone who can manipulate the DNA strands in his body to imitate cellular function in any which way he or she chooses. Clayface does this, and with each transformation he loses more and more of his humanity. Now, what happens is, this genetic infection eats away at his host's DNA, breaks him down, and makes him even more crazy in the head. So Bruce Wayne's like, I gotta stop this guy, man, but he's so hard to find because he's changing into different people, including his other best friend, Lucius Fox. Alright? So that's one of the last pages. I don't want to tell you how it ends, but pretty dramatic. I say pick this up. 3 out of 5. Nothing spectacular, but I read it twice. I liked it. Worth a shot. Worth a read, especially if you're a Batman fan. Now, I've been reviewing Constantine a lot lately. Well, not a lot. This is only the 2nd issue, but I've reviewed the 1st issue because I loved it. This one moves right along where it left off. Oh, by the way, written by the great Jeff Lemire, artwork by the great Ray Fawkes. And he's great in my mind. He's not that famous, but I think he's pretty damn good. Wouldn't you think? Great shot at the front splash page. Anyways, this issue features John Constantine patrolling the streets of, I believe it's somewhere in the Philippines, I think. He's looking for an artifact, which is a compass. There are 3 separate pieces to this compass. He has 1 piece. He's looking for the other piece. Unfortunately, he's not the only one looking for this. There are other magicians out on this artifact's trail. But Constantine has to get it first, because if he doesn't, Sargon the sorceress, his old enemy, is going to get her hands on it, and if she does, he knows she's going to use the power of this artifact for evil, for personal aggrandizement, for selfish ambitions. You get the point. And so, pardon me, I'm slowing down my speech, my throat is a little hoarse. And so, eventually they go face to face. They come face to face with each other. Let's see if I get a shot of that. And you know, John Constantine gives his usual warnings. You know, magic has a price. You know, you don't know what you're doing. Of course, she doesn't listen. And what happens is, let me see, where is that page? What happens is, she meets up with one of her own goons. Okay? She sends one of her own goons after him and says, listen, John Constantine is a major thorn in our side, and we're going to need more guys to take him down, because nobody messes with John Constantine's magic. It's a pretty bloody book, as you can see. A lot of people are complaining that Constantine is now rated teen and not mature. I don't think the mature rating is even necessary anymore. Just like you see on TV today. Everything's rated PG-13, but you see so much blood and violence. Anyways, worth a shot.